The chemistry of spiciness. Why do chili peppers make your tongue sting? The burning sensation is caused by the molecule capsaicin, a colorless, odorless, oil-like compound found in the fruit of a plant, which gives hot peppers their kick. And how do we measure how hot a certain pepper is? For that, we have the Scoville heat scale, which is a series of heat units that range from 0 to 16 million, depending on the capsaicin content of the pepper. Bell peppers rank at 0 since they contain no capsaicin, and pure capsaicin tops the scale at 16 million heat units. Capsaicin binds to a special type of protein called TRPV1, located on the surface of nerve cells connected to the taste buds that detect temperature and send messages of pain. TRPV1 acts as a sensor for the cell. These receptors that they trigger are otherwise typically only switched on at temperatures higher than 42 degrees Celsius or when exposed to acid, to warn us that whatever we put in our mouth is bad news. This signal turns the nerve cell on, then triggering other nerve cells to carry the message to the brain that it has to respond to this dangerous temperature. When capsaicin interacts with TRPV1, the protein is turned on and the same signal is transmitted to the brain, forcing it into thinking it is being burned even though there is no real heat present. You may notice, however, that some people may seem less sensitive to spicy food. Why is that so? This is called desensitization, as the nociceptive primary sensor neurons are functionally inactivated and diminished in its overall response to capsaicin subsequent to the initial excitation. Pepper tolerance can also be affected by genetic, endorphin, or being exposed at a young age. Genetics can determine variations in the number of taste buds and associated nerve fibers in your mouth. So people with different trigeminal fibers feel different levels of heat. Regardless of genetic inheritance, one can also develop a tolerance for spicy foods through social and cultural influences, as exposing children to more spicy foods at a young age can desensitize nerve endings, making them more tolerable to spicy foods. Furthermore, consuming spicy foods can release endorphins, a natural pain reliever that contributes to pepper tolerance by blocking out the hot sensation. Menthol does not max out the neurons and cause desensitization like in capsaicin. Similar to capsaicin, menthol does not change the skin's temperature but creates a cooling sensation by attaching to a certain neuronal receptor on the tongue. Menthol may be able to desensitize capsaicin-sensitive fibers, but only for a short period of time. Either sensation is unable to nullify the other, as they are sensations after all and not actual temperature changes. Heat is naturally registered as a much more immediate danger than cold, so it wins out when both receptors are triggered simultaneously. Have you ever tried drinking water or milk after a spicy meal, trying to get rid of the burning sensation in your mouth? Since capsaicin has a long hydrocarbon tail, it is non-polar and hydrophobic, as it does not dissolve in water, which is polar in nature. Water instead makes the burning sensation worse, as it only spreads the capsaicin around your mouth, exposing more nerve cells to capsaicin. The traditional cure is mammal's milk, as milk contains casein, a non-polar fat-loving substance that can dissolve the capsaicin and wash it out of your mouth, essentially having a detergent effect just like soap on grease. So why do some of us like spicy food? And why exactly would anyone seek out this burning sensation? The answer to this question can be found in the way our brains are wired. In essence, spicy foods trigger a sense of euphoria similar to a runner's high. Capsaicin tricks the brain into thinking it is being burned through the transmission of neurotransmitters. The brain responds to these signals by releasing a type of neurotransmitter known as endorphin, which are the body's natural way of relieving pain by retarding the nerve's ability to transmit pain signals. If you have paid attention today, we have learned that the burning sensation you feel when you eat chilies is caused by the molecule capsaicin, which is detected by TRPV1, triggering nerve cells to send a signal to the brain and thereby cause a sting. Some people may seem more tolerant to spicy foods mainly due to genetics, prolonged exposure, and endorphins. Menthol, on the other hand, cannot cause desensitization like in capsaicin, and menthol may desensitize the mouth's capsaicin-sensitive fibers, but only for a short period of time. You also now know that capsaicin has a non-polar structure, and since like dissolves like, casein in milk, which is non-polar as well, is able to dissolve the capsaicin and thus extinguish the heat, while water, which is polar, cannot dissolve capsaicin and instead makes it worse by spreading the heat around your mouth. We also learned that some people may like to eat spicy as it tricks the brain into a form of euphoria by releasing endorphins.